the dark night of the soul and manifestation, or no manifestation. In the last episode, I was talking about going from feeling abandoned to feeling abundant, and I also mentioned the topic of manifestation during the dark night of the soul. I very briefly shared my experience about manifestation in my life when the dark night of the soul started for me. And initially, I was thinking that it was good that this experience showed up in my life because at that point I was aware that when you are going through such crises, it is to show you something, and basically your soul is opening up a bottle of champagne because you're letting go of something that doesn't serve you anymore, that is not aligned with who you are becoming and who you are like deep in your heart. So I thought it was actually very good, and I was embracing my emotions. I was very attentive to whatever was coming up. But at the same time, considering the fact that the dark night of the soul was obviously for me to align me with new values, new experiences, new adventures, new goals, new projects in my life, I was into manifestation, and I would come up with lists, like of what I wanted moving forward, what I wanted the new chapter of my life to be like. I visualized the new me. I was doing the tapping and many different things. And I was, I would say I was very diligent about it, and I did regular exercises and techniques. At the same time, I was, working with my emotions. So I wanted to get it right, so to speak. But even though I did some inner work and inner exploration, and I also did those, manifestation techniques, if you will, nothing really happened. I would say quite the contrary. I felt as if I was in a wasteland, and if I did have any manifestation powers, and I think that I did have some, in the past, suddenly I just had an impression that I was always coming up against brick walls. So every manifestation power that I had actually went down the drain. It disappeared. And it was super frustrating. I realized that the dark night of the soul is not the craziest, or maybe that's not the right word, but the most energetic and go-getting sort of way periods in your life. But at the same time, that was very disappointing, especially considering the losses that I was going through. But at some point it dawned on me, because sometimes I was going through very dark moments, like everything seemed so hopeless. And I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. It was, it's hard to describe, but basically I felt as if I was in this bottomless pit, and when I was having a difficulty, well, maybe a few days or a few weeks later, I would, experience another difficulty. And it was if you think that it can't get any worse, just wait another week. So it was pretty pessimistic, I would say. So the manifestation stuff didn't work, even though when I had breaks during the day and I was, for example, tapping, it felt good. I was like, okay, it's possible for me. I can generate those feelings. I can see myself moving on and moving forward in this way, for instance, but it just didn't work. And like at some point it just dawned on me, seeing where I am, understanding what thoughts I have at this moment, which thoughts dominate in my head. Oh my God, it's so good that I'm not a powerful manifester right now, because I'm not really sure what I would manifest having so many dark thoughts in my head. And then I was thinking that the mechanism, if you can call it this way, is actually brilliant. You can't manifest quickly during the dark night of the soul, because this might be a very, very sad life, doom and gloom, if you will. So I was thinking, oh my God, whoever or whatever is stopping me from manifesting, thank you. So then I realized that the dark night of the soul is not the time, at least it was in my case. I don't want to speak for everyone because every situation is different, but in my case, definitely it wasn't the time to manifest. And I stopped doing those techniques because I had an impression that for me, I have a different priority. And I felt that letting go of emotions, especially, emotions from early days, I would say, or from early years, the feeling of shame and guilt in particular, these were the things that I was to deal with at that moment. And basically, understand the many different situations in my life from the past which actually didn't really work to my benefit. I just needed to see how I contributed to to the current situation, really. And on the one hand, I realized, and it was becoming clearer and clearer for me, that my best thinking got me here. But sometimes it was just so painful to realize that many things that I thought were supposed to work to my benefit actually worked to my detriment. But anywho, so for me that was the priority at that time. And I was thinking, it's really not the time to manifest your dream life right now, when you're in the darkness, when you're in the seemingly bottomless pit. And manifestation and manifesting your dream life may not be the best way, because you're simply not aligned. You're not there energetically, if you will. I trusted that understanding. And if you've been listening to my podcast, you may remember that I can't say, basically, I don't have a feeling that the dark night of the soul is over. And at this point, after being with this experience, if you will, for around 3 years, I don't think that if it does come to an end, if it's completed, I don't suspect, and I don't think it will be like, fireworks. Oh, it's over. It's great. I don't think, I don't feel it will come about this way. So, but yeah, at this moment, I'm not in a position that I'm this victorious person who overcame the dark night of the soul. It sounds a bit funny when I'm saying this, but basically I just want to be honest that I don't feel that the experience is over. But obviously when I have certainty, if this is the case at any point, then obviously I will, share this in this podcast. But yeah, it's a very tricky thing, and I must say that it's increased my level of humility, and I can really say that I don't know. I just don't know. And so many times I actually thought that it was over. And it seemed that, all this heaviness lifted, and there were also some changes in my life. But it just came back. it just came back. And at this point I'm like, I need to trust the process, but at the same time I don't want to get attached to it, and if I am attached, because probably I am to some extent, I just want to remember that the dark night of the soul is some sort of phenomenon. It's not mine. I don't cherish it as the most precious thing in the world, even though it's a sacred experience. And I've mentioned this many times on this podcast, but basically I just don't see it as, like my precious, because I don't feel that it is to stay here forever. It's my ally, but it's just a temporary thing in life, just to realign me with, well, let's see what that is. But basically, that's my approach as well. But yeah, humility is a big thing. And as I said many times, I thought that it's over. I can feel it in my bones, and then woohoo, here we go again. Here we go again. So you may not know what I'm talking about. If so, please feel free to share your experience. And yes, just to summarize, if you are feeling disappointed because you don't manifest your dream life during a life crisis, which may seem that it would just finish the whole thing and you would be happy and live forever, I would suggest that you deconstruct this myth, because I believe this is a myth, and just make the most of the current moment, make the most of it, cherish it, enjoy it, because the truth is that every single moment is just one of, is unique, and it will never be repeated. So that's also something that the dark night of the soul teaches us. Just cherish every moment, because that's all we have. That's always everything that we have. So yes, enjoy every single moment. I will repeat one of my favorite sentences: and make your Groundhog Day perfect. You may know what I mean, and if not, just there is an episode on that, so you can check this out. And in the meantime, I wish you all the best, and until next time.